Esther, don't worry about it. I'm good. I'm doing all right. And she said, no, you're not. And I said, oh, I'm doing well. She said, you're working at a company where they don't appreciate you. You're working for the type of money, the amounts of money that you don't like, and you're telling me you're okay. You're living in a 2-bedroom apartment where the tables that we had were those tables that you can fold the legs of the table. You know, you can get it for like $15 at Costco, right? That was my dining table. You know, that was 17 months ago. And she reminded me that I deserved better. She reminded me that I wasn't born for mediocrity. And I was born to succeed. And she reminded me that God didn't manufacture junk and success was my birthright. She reminded me. And I'm here to tell you today that God didn't manufacture junk and success is your birthright. You just gotta go fight for it. You gotta get out of your comfort zone and go out there and shake the bushes. That's what you gotta do. You gotta stop being cool. You gotta stop being cool. You gotta stop trying to impress other people that are trying to impress you. You gotta stop that. She reminded me of that. She introduces me to my coach, and he changed my entire life. And I gotta tell you, the reason why I remember specifically the date was because that date I made a decision. I made a decision to change my life. And I remember this phrase, and it's so simple, and he always says the same phrase. Mr. Jose Arellano says, in order for things to change in your life, you gotta change things in your life. And I didn't get it at first. I thought he was trying to trick me into something. You know? I thought he was playing with his words. And once I realized that you literally have to change things in your life, you gotta change some habits. You gotta change the thought process that's going through your mind, because the only difference between all these diamonds up here, all the blue diamonds and black diamonds, the only difference is their mindset. The only difference is that they made a decision and they stuck with it. And even though they were going through some bad times, do you really think that Mr. Jose Arellano had it easy? Do you really, a lot of people say, well, they were at the beginning of the company, when they're just getting started, I would have also made it. Guess what? You're wrong. Because if you don't make it now, everything is easy now. We got all the tools. We're in the best country of the world, the United States of America. Are you kidding me? And you really think it was easy? The reason I remember the day is because I made a decision. It was 2:30 in the morning when I called my wife. And I was staying at Hernandez's home. Thank you so much. Because I didn't have for a hotel room. And I remember I was staying there. And I called my wife at 2:30 in the morning. And I said, honey, I think I got it. I think I've got the opportunity we're looking for. I think I got it, but you know what? I'm a little scared. How many of you have felt a little fear? Like, is it really true? You know what I'm saying? How many of you relate to that? Right? And you go, can I really do this? Like, is this really for me? Is it really my time? Can I do this? And I remember asking my wife those questions. And I said, can I really do this? Do you think we can do this? And my wife said, I love my wife. She said, I know I married a champion and you can do anything you want. And she believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. And I remember 2:30 in the morning. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't couldn't sleep, and I was talking to her on the phone. And I said, honey, if you support me, and if you stick with me, I promise you, I'm going to make you the happiest girl on earth. And I'm going to give you everything you and my daughter deserve. I'm going to give it all I have. And I promise you that if you just support me, thank you. If you just stick with me, I promise you it's going to be fine. We're going to be fine. And I went back to California and I quit my job. And I was scared, but I'm not telling you this so you can go back home and quit your job, okay? I'm not saying that. The reason I quit was because I was working from 9 in the morning to 8 o'clock at night, and I couldn't even pay the bills. And I said, I'm either gonna go up from here or down from here. And I remember that phrase from the movie The Secret. And that's what I said. I said, you know what? Alberto, now is your turn. Now is your time to prove that what you stand for. It's your time to prove to your family that you could do this. And I went out there and I talked to so many people. I remember one lady, an older lady, you know, I gave her a presentation. I was at a very, very famous restaurant with the only, you know, few dollars that I had. It's actually very, very, it's a very famous restaurant. You might know him, Jack in the Box. The last few dollars I had, and I remember giving the presentation. And at the end of the presentation, she looked at me with a very sweet face. She said, honey, why don't you sell oranges? I got a guy that could get oranges for you, and you can make more money with oranges. She said, coffee? Are you serious? That's what she said. And I just stood up and left. I just left, you know. I remember that. And I'm gonna leave you with this. I'm gonna leave you with this. You know, I watched the video when I was 21 years old. I watched a video from Mr. Les Brown. And yes. And I remember in this video, he was talking about 20,000 people. And he said, when you're going through rough times, and you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, and you can't see yourself having success, when you look at your dream, and you don't know if it's gonna happen, and fear and doubt take over you. All I want you to say, it's 2 words, and he said, just say, it's possible. It's possible. Say it with me. It's possible. And when you're presenting the opportunity out there, and you're trying so hard, and nobody believes you, I just want you to remember those 2 words. And you look at your goal and you say, it's possible. I don't know how, and I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I know it's possible. I know it's possible. Just say it with me. It's possible. Say it like you mean it. It's possible. And when you look at your dream, and you're working hard, and everyone laughs at you, and your family says you're crazy, and your family looks at you, and I remember my mom called me one day and said, are you doing okay, honey? I didn't bring you to the U.S. for you to sell coffee. I just want you to look at your dream and say, it's possible. Say it loud, it's possible. It's possible. And when people say no to you, and when they laugh at you, all I want you to remember is those 2 words. It's possible. It's possible. As a matter of fact, let me ask you a question. How many of you invited people over and you just knew they were going to come and they decided not to come? Raise your hand. As a matter of fact, by any chance, anybody in the room by any chance brought some people over and you're hoping and praying that you can identify just one that goes out there and does the business with you the way you're doing it? Anybody by show of hands? Right? And you're bringing people to the system, and you're looking at them, and you're just hoping and praying that one of the leaders impacts their life so they can go and change yours. Right? But how many of you brought people like that, and you're just hoping that they get it? Right? And you're hoping, you're fighting. You know, I was talking to a friend of mine, Mr. Peter Reese from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Great friend of mine. I was talking to him a couple days ago. We just got here on Friday night, and this is what I said. I said, how many people did you bring with you? And he said, you know, I have 10 people that we're all excited that we're going to drive down here, and it's just me and my wife. Everyone backed up. No one came. And he said, you know, I was hoping that I was going to identify the one that was going to run with me and just do this thing and build it together. And I was hoping that out of the 10 people that I was bringing, one of them was going to step up and make it happen with me and just work as hard as I'm working. And I said, Peter, let me remind you something. I said, Peter, let me remind you of this. You're looking for the one. How many of you guys are looking for the one? Raise your hand. As a matter of fact, how many of you realize that you're not looking for the masses, you're just looking for one John Secturas and Blanca Secturas? How many of you realize that? How many of you guys realize that you're not looking for the masses, you're just looking for one David Imonitie? Raise your hand. How many of you guys would love to find one David Imonitie? Raise your hand. And one John Secturas on the left. And then underneath John Secturas, you get Jose Ardon. Raise your hand if you'd like to do that. Right? Let me just remind you something. Stop looking. Stop looking to the right. Stop looking to the left. You found him. The one is you. The one is you. You are the one. Stop looking. Stop looking. You gotta believe you're the one. You gotta believe. You gotta feel it in yourself. And you gotta say, you know what? I'm the one. I'm the chosen one. And I know I can make a difference. I know you could be someone special for someone else. Yes, you. Yes, you. Low self-esteem. You could be someone special for someone else. Stop looking. Stop asking God if He could give you a chance. He gave it to you. You're in the best opportunity on the planet. This is the greatest, most blessed company of the world, and you are a part of it. And you gotta believe that it is you that's gonna make a difference. Thank you very much.